Hello, I'm Roman Emde, speaking for our oral history of our church. I was born and I was baptized in Granite City, Illinois, which is southern Illinois. Uh, my lifelong church at that time was St. John's Evangelical and Reformed. Both St. John's and my dad's side of the family, which was a rural Lutheran church, had some quaint customs. One that I thought was kind of interesting is that both of them had German services. Mine once a week, and my dad's the Lutheran every week up until World War II, and they changed their mind about that. And my dad's Lutheran church had another quaint custom. The men sat on one side and the women sat on the other. It was before women's lib, of course. The congregational and the evangelical churches combined to form the United Church of Christ in 1950s. I had some experience with the Presbyterian church when I was in the Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. They sponsored our troop. The steel company that gave me summer jobs in the mills, and after college in the sales department, transferred me to Memphis. My 5 years in Memphis were pretty active. Joined the Congregational Church there, which was founded during the Civil War. The Congregational Church from New England and very much against slavery was never very popular in that city. During those 5 years, I married, had my first child, earned an MBA, and another interesting point is this was the early years of the civil rights movement, and coming down from the North, not used to separate drinking fountains, etc., etc. I just naively got on the bus one day and just went without thinking to the back of the bus, and the people up front, all whites, some frowned and a couple made comments that I should move up to the back of the bus. I did never do it really. The next move was to Huntsville, where I went taking a job as the market researcher for a department of one of the aerospace companies. It was a very interesting time to live in Huntsville, because these were the days leading up to the moon landing. And so many, or most of our friends, I guess, were engineers or associated with this in one way or another. The Congregational church that I attended had not been in town terribly long, and it was meeting in an old house, and not just an old and not very modern house at all. But we voted and decided that we needed a church. So some of us hit the streets and looking for donations, of course. And in about a year, we were in a new church. And we're also, a beautiful new baby daughter was born, and we put a rose on the altar for the little baby. Next step was to Bowling Green, Kentucky, where I came to work for the city as the assistant director of the Model City program. The Presbyterian church there was a lovely old traditional downtown church. It was comfortable, attractive, nice building. a lot of activities. Both of our little kiddies enjoyed the Sunday school there. They had a very good Sunday school program. Started a business of my own and moved to Atlanta. And 25 years there, or roughly 25 years there, the children grew to be adults. The business flourished. We enjoyed the many cultural activities and the diversity of the big city. The Congregational Church there was a beautiful, very modern design building with tall windows in the middle of a forest right in Atlanta. Was active in that church for all of that time. Went to a zillion committee meetings, I guess. And one of the interesting things about that church, it had many interesting things, including very interesting people. But the church let one of the Jewish congregations meet on Saturdays. It was also the place of my wedding with Mary. We had a long transitional to retirement, commuting between here and Atlanta for off and on for about 10 years before we actually formally got moved. And I joined the Presbyterian Church in Gulf Shores. However, with travels and racing sailboats and cruisings, happened to miss a lot of the services. We lived on our boat and sailed the northwestern Caribbean, mainly along the Yucatan Peninsula. And a few times I attended the Iglesia Presbyteriana, where I spoke poor Spanish and couldn't understand hardly anything, but the people were wonderful. They were really, really nice. Returned to land, built a house in Foley, and in 2005 joined this church. Now, each of the churches that I belonged to I liked very much, and they were truly a blessing, but I can say certainly that the time spent here in First Foley was outstanding. The best way I can explain it is, the best illustration, I think, is through Mary, my wife, whom most of you know, I think. She thought that the Foley Church, because of its many industries, and primarily because of the wonderful people that she dearly loves, was almost, but not quite, something that would justify the heresies of Martin Luther and John Calvin.